first off, I hope you guys are all having a good afternoon. If you're very happy in your lives, very content, satisfied, kudos to you. Keep creating value for yourself, keep creating value for the people around you, and just keep going about and doing those things that make you happy, right? But this video is more for people who are trying to achieve certain things, or they feel like where they want to be and where they are at the moment are very far apart. If you're ever feeling like you're in a rut and you're struggling, the biggest thing that sort of helped me, and I'm still dealing with this, but the biggest thing that's sort of got me out of my mind and sort of helped me work towards my achievements and how to get out of the rut and understanding that feeling of being in a rut was probably the Pareto principle. So for anybody who hasn't heard of the Pareto principle, basically it's this idea that 20% of your actions attribute or account for 80% of the outcome, or the things that actually result from those triggers or action. A lot of your unhappiness or your problems, or even the flip side of that, right, your productivity, 20% of the things you're actually doing are creating 80% of the result most of the time. And think back into your own lives and see if this actually applies to you. So just because you're busy and you're constantly doing things doesn't necessarily mean everything you're doing within your routine is actually netting a higher outcome or result. The other saying as well, you're the average of the 5 people of whatever, right? So that's a tried and true saying. If you hang around 5 people who are constantly pessimistic, negative, or all they want to do is go out on the weekend, go clubbing, drinking, and they're not balanced people, you'll start to gravitate towards those actions and those thoughts and feelings. So depending on what your goals are, what's important to you, you should think about the 20% of the people that are really creating value for you and spend more time with them. And on the flip side of that, if you've got toxic people in your life, people who aren't adding any value to you, or people who are really wearing you down emotionally, every time you see them, they're not adding anything to your life, basically. Start limiting your time with those people. So if it's family, sometimes it's your closest friends, yeah? So you can't just cut these people out of your lives because, they've done so much for you and it's an ongoing relationship. But what you can do is you can limit your interaction with them by cutting back how much time you spend with them. You might have a friend that talks to you on the phone for 2-3 hours at a time, but every time you speak to them, you don't feel any better about yourself. You haven't learned anything from them, and generally you just don't feel great about yourself after speaking to them. So these kind of friends, you need to limit their interaction, and most of the time it's people like your family. So just think about that